The year is 2008, the worst global recession since World War II. The years leading up to the crisis were characterized by a boom in economic demand, but suddenly many large and well established investment banks and commercial banks in the US and Europe suffered huge losses. People were shocked when they saw well rated old banks just shutting down. The global recession that followed resulted in a sharp drop in international trade, rising unemployment, and falling prices of commodities. The real estate market, which was all green and booming, suddenly plunged down. Like the ghost towns and ghost cities of China, US real estate market had lines of houses empty. Why did this happen? Apart from the well known greed of investment bankers, the policymakers, the low regulation standards, why does this happen? And so often? In 1997 Asian crisis, the stagflation of 1970s, and in the Great Depression of 1930s. Is there a pattern? Global economics is an attempt in your Masters of Business Administration course to understand why the world's economy routinely goes through such phases and how it is regular but unpredictable phenomena. This subject teaches us about recession and why it occurs. Why can't the great economists of the world with their all PhDs and numerous publications can't stop world from sinking into depression? This subject will make you understand what does it mean when people complain of a rising dollar, and why exactly do I have to spend 65 rupees to get one single dollar bill? And finally, when you find your unemployed friends cribbing over why they are still unemployed or how bad their current firm is exploiting them, you finally earn the right to make them understand that it is the economy to blame, my friend. This presentation shall focus on certain topics like business cycles, I already told, unemployment in the economy, exchange rates, and finally, what is repo rate and reverse repo rate in the economy of India? Is this a difficult model to read? Models such as these give us a bird eye view of the three types of market. It shows how dependent and connected we all are, and hence to the world, and how vulnerable too. What is the role of three types of markets? The labor market, the finance market, and the products market, and how they continuously feed both the consumers and the firm. Why do we all need each other? Business cycles. The business cycles are simply fluctuations in the economy. They are unpredictable and occur every 6 months to 4 years, whenever they want. What is really interesting is that such cycles affect us unequally. Just consider a simple stock market investor. If he gets to know today that New York Stock Exchange has crashed or something has happened in some part of the world, what will he do? He will immediately start selling the shares that he has, or the most valued ones. Effectively, he is decreasing his output. He is going out of business. However, if the same person is a manager at an oil platform in the middle of Indian Ocean, do you really expect him to reduce the output of crude oil just because of NYSE crashing? No. For every single minute his machines are free, he loses money. He just can't fire people at will. People are a cost to him and an asset as well. So he can't do much about it immediately. Hence, big manufacturing firms have a lag in reacting to such cycles. This is why the effect of a slowdown are felt months or years later, even if the real cause of the slowdown has simply evaporated. Moving on to the question in the pub, why does my firm exploit me so much, or why can't I simply get a job? If everything is so lush and green, why is it so difficult to move on? Why is there always an unemployment rate which government finds so difficult to plug in? This is because of two types of unemployments, frictional and structural. The frictional unemployment's primary reason is the mismatch of applicants in the firm. Not every person joins a job he is selected to, and not every firm selects everyone who applies. It takes time, just like your marriage. You take time to match, and hence frictional unemployment exists. The other type of unemployment is something completely beyond in the control of economy. Workers who are low skilled can't find jobs in ever in high skilled areas. The match will never be there.
We Indians believe in value for money. I am sure in your search for the perfect laptop, you might have found yourself stuck between choosing value or money. Then we find an angel friend who is returning from the US after a long trip, and we ask him to buy the same high value laptop from US for a much lesser cost. But how does it work? If US is a rich country and we are third world, then why do they get cheaper stuff there? Is it just because of companies secretly plotting against us, or economies of scale? This is where exchange rate comes to our rescue. In the past, currencies of the world were simply backed by gold. In 1930s, US set its dollar at a level of 1 ounce of gold equaling $35. Since then, each country valued the currency with respect to dollar. However, with time, US economy fell and was forced to remove the gold from its currency. It left its value to market forces alone. US dollar being stable still dominates the financial markets of the world. Different nations' currencies are valued at different levels with respect to dollar depending on how strong the economy is, how much the GDP is growing, what is the market sentiment, how economy rated by world rating agencies, and its import and exports. You can't just publish more notes to control exchange rate or fight inflation. In late 1990s, Zimbabwe confiscated the private farms of landowners and initiated the Economic Structural Adjustment Program. This was a huge disaster for the Zimbabwean economy. These led to collapse in banking sector, food output fell to 45%, manufacturing to 29%, and unemployment to 80%. In 1980s, the Zimbabwean dollar was actually valued more than US dollar, but by 2006, 100,000 of Zimbabwe dollars equaled 1 USD. The currency was useless. The economy crippled. But today, Zimbabwe has moved to US dollar. Countries follow two different types of exchange rates method. The first one is floating. Like in India, it is dependent on country's economy and market forces. Central bank uses open market operations to manage the rates. They are flexible and change every day. While China keeps a pegged or fixed exchange rate, it helps to fight volatility and keeps imports and exports competitive. The government needs to change the rates to manage the currency at some interval of time. Folks, all of us must have heard about RBI or any central bank changing interest rates. Have you ever thought why? Why is central bank changing interest rates, or what will happen if interest rates are increased or decreased? No idea. Okay, then global economics is the course which will make you understand and learn the role of central bank and the monetary and fiscal policies. Global economics will enable you to understand the implication of revision in interest rates. It will also enable you to have a broader view of the economical situation. Okay, now I will give you an example. If the economy is not going good, which means the GDP is not in line with targeted growth, then central bank will try to reduce the interest rate. This decrease in interest rate will abate the incentives for savings, and people will start consuming more, and hence the consumption will increase. The decrease in interest rate will also make the NPV of projects positive. This will lead to increase in private investment. The increase in consumption coupled with increase in private investment will improve the GDP. Sounds pretty interesting, right? So this is another interesting topic which global economics makes you learn.
That's all from our side, folks. We hope that we have created an interest in the subject for you, and it helps you to make your decision to choose to doing an MBA.